The 2024 NHL Draft looks like it's going to be a very exciting class. I thought it would be a good idea to release my rankings for the very beginning of the season. Welcome to my October ranking, where I'll be releasing my top 10 list. If you are new to the channel, then please do subscribe. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you could also leave a like on the video, then it would be greatly appreciated. Let's start things off with a quick honorable mention, and it's honestly pretty sad. I'm going for Aron Kiviharju. His defensive game has so much upside. His size at 5'10 isn't my favorite, and I think that's why he maybe was beginning to drop just a little bit in this class. Now, the main problem is that he's going to be missing the next 4 months due to an injury and needing surgery. This is going to be a serious mountain to climb for this prospect, who was once projected to be the first overall pick in the 2024 draft class. Let's begin the top 10, and first up, I've got Sam Dickinson. Now, this is a defenseman who seems to be all over the board. For some people, he's around the top 5, and others have him just outside of their top 10. Now, for me personally, I just want to get a better read on him. He's clearly going to get a bigger role this season, and I want to see how he handles it. So far, he's off to a great start this season. He has 4 points in his first 2 games played. He had limited ice time last year, so if he can run with this big opportunity, then I'm sure I could justify ranking him higher than 10th overall. For what I've heard, he's quite the stay-at-home D kind of defenseman. But if he can elevate his offensive game, then he's going to really make some noise during this draft season. For 9th overall, I'm going to rank Henry Muse. This draft class is loaded with elite defensemen, especially right-handed defensemen, so I'm sure plenty of scouts will be satisfied with that. Now, for these next 2 players, I would say they have very similar games. Muse is a good, well-balanced, two-way defenseman. He's bulky and is already 6 foot. He currently plays in the OHL. Last season, he had 31 points in 55 games played. He just had his season opener and tallied an assist. For Muse, what I'll be paying close attention to is just how much can he improve on his offensive production. I'm not too concerned about the defensive efforts. I really feel like there's going to be an awesome race between Muse and who I'm going to be ranking at 8th overall. What made me put Muse just behind him was that he's not as large, and I feel like his skating isn't quite as good. I also usually get more intrigued by prospects who are already playing in a top league against men in their draft eligible season. And I would say that is my case for Adam Yurichek, who I'm ranking at number 8. This is David Yurichek's younger brother, and I'm assuming he's going to go very high as well. Adam has a big frame like his older brother. He's not as huge, but he is still standing tall at 6'2", while also weighing nearly 180 pounds. He's also got that important right-hand shot. He plays in Czechia and has already graduated from the U20 league. He put up great numbers there, but so far his production is a work in progress in the top league in the Czech Republic. He played in 12 games last season, and so far this year he's played in 6. He has a total of 2 assists in all of those games, and he's still currently searching for his first goal. Yurichek has a ton of skill, and he skates even better than his brother. His mobility is super impressive for his size, and he seems like a lock to become a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. Whichever team drafts him will get a super valuable blue liner. Currently, I just wonder if he has what it takes to become a top pairing D, or if he'll maybe be better off on the second pair. For 7th overall, I'm going to rank Berkly Catton here. Last season, he had an impressive 55-point season in 63 games played. I will also add that his team is rather poor and they're not very good. He means some serious business this year in his draft season, so hopefully that can elevate his team's overall play. He already has 7 points in his first 3 games played. He has the potential to be the first CHL player drafted in his class, and if he can get 100 plus points, then I would say it's a huge possibility that he fights to go in the top 5. This is such a great energy guy who has high-end skill. He's such an amazing skater, and he competes with an awesome, consistent effort. I'm confident that he'll become a top 6 center. He's got loads of potential, and his upside is something plenty of scouts are going to adore. His two-way game is honorable too. Catton is a prospect you're going to want to keep your eye on all season long. For 6th overall, I'm going to go with an early riser. Anton Silayev has had a fantastic start to his season. He is already in the KHL and has 6 points in his first 13 games played. That kind of production would be even really impressive for a forward, so when you consider that Silayev is a defenseman, then it's really exciting stuff. A big factor in him staying around this position is if he can remain to be consistent. So the offensive production is great, but let me also mention his incredible size. This kid is 6'7" and is nearly 210 pounds. He kind of seems like the next Zdeno Chara. He's a monster on the blue line. We saw Dmitry Simashev go 6th overall in the previous draft, and he didn't even register a point in 18 KHL games last season. Silayev's skating ability isn't even close to being as good as Simashev's, but considering his massive 6'7" frame, it's pretty dang good, and it should improve a lot throughout the years. This is a defenseman with great hockey IQ, good positioning skills, and transitional play. For a 17-year-old defenseman to make such a difference already in the KHL is a very rare thing to see. At 5th overall, I'm going with Konsta Helenius. Finland has been lacking some high-end picks in recent memory, but I'm thinking Helenius should be able to fight for a top 5 spot in this draft. Last season, he absolutely torched the U20 Finnish League, and then he ended up playing in 33 games as a 16-year-old in the Liga. Nobody has done that since the 70s, so it's clearly a pretty rare achievement. Having a top 6 role in a league playing against men is super impressive. During that season, he had 11 points, and so far this year, he has 2 goals in 7 games played. He's a really high-end talented center. Helenius has an amazing passing ability. He's really creative and can make plenty of unpredictable plays. He can make so much happen with such a little amount of space. He already handles pressure like a veteran, and he is one of the younger top-end players in this draft class as he was born in May. At 4th overall, I'm going for Artyom Levshunov. This is a great two-way defenseman with amazing size. He also has the high-coveted right-handed shot. He's simply a player who would change a franchise forever. I really do believe he'll be a staple on a team's top pair for a very long time someday. We're always looking for players who have a lack of holes in their game. Well, that's what Levshunov has going on, and I'll tell you that for free. He uses his frame so well, and the way he handles himself in the defensive zone is something every single coach can admire. He's a huge team player. Levshunov is always going to be a defenseman who you're going to notice every single time he's on the ice. He also just came over to North America last season, and the way he adapted was spectacular. He had 42 points in 62 USHL games last season, and now he's gearing up for his freshman season in the NCAA with Michigan State University. I could for sure see him fighting for 3rd overall if he can manage to be as dominant in the NCAA. At 3rd overall, I've got the highly skilled Russian forward Anton Demidov. There are loads of reasons to believe that he is one of the best players in this draft class. His hands are spectacular. He's a dual threat in the offensive zone. He's an absolutely deadly playmaker, but his goal scoring upside is really promising too. He also has stellar work ethic, and I like his two-way game. He's a really solid competitor. He's following the same path as Matvei Michkov. In the MHL, these two both have the records for the best point percentages before even playing in their draft-eligible seasons. Demidov put up the 2nd best point percentage ever behind Michkov. Last year, he had 62 points in 41 games played. He is off to a slow start this season though. He has 0 points in 4 KHL games, and he's also appeared in 1 MHL and VHL game, but he still hasn't recorded a point yet. Demidov is going to have to do some damage in the KHL this season if he wants to get on to Michkov's level. Last season, Michkov had 20 points in 30 games played. That's amazing production for a player in their draft season. I'll be paying close attention to Demidov to see if he can get somewhere close to that during this season. Next up, I've got Cole Eiserman at number 2. This draft class is deep and has some unbelievable high-end talent. He's a 1st overall type of player, big time, so if a team could land him in the top 3, then that would be excellent value. Eiserman has a great compete level, and his overall game is pretty exciting. What stands out about him the most, though, is his impressive goal-scoring ability. Seriously, he's going to become one of the next great goal scorers in this upcoming generation of hockey. In his first 6 games in the U.S. National Team Development Program, he has 10 goals already. The top 2 goal-scoring seasons by a U18 player are set by Cole Caulfield and Austin Matthews. Matthews had 55 and 60, and Caulfield had 72 and 64. For a perspective, Eiserman is currently on pace for 70 goals in 42 games played, which would be 2 goals shy from the record in 22 less games played. It's crazy stuff. Eiserman's shot is rare and special, his release is laser quick, his accuracy is on a whole other planet. It's early, but you can already tell this kid will haunt NHL goaltenders for a very long time in the near future. The hype is real for Macklin Celebrini, so I clearly had to go for him at first overall. This is a player who could have an even more impressive NCAA freshman season than Adam Fantilli. It's very possible that we could see back-to-back freshmen win the Hobey Baker Award. Both Celebrini and Fantilli played for the Chicago Steel in the USHL before gearing up for the NCAA in their draft-eligible season. What stands out about Celebrini is that he had 12 more points than Fantilli did in 4 less games played. Not only that, but Fantilli was also 17 during his 74-point season. Celebrini put up 86 points as a 16-year-old. Fantilli put up 65 points in 36 games played last season, so it's crazy to think that Celebrini could potentially put up even more impressive numbers than that. The big question now is, will he be able to do it? We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm expecting him to do something insane this season. Celebrini is a very complete player. He's not quite as large as Fantilli, but his two-way game is extremely honorable. His shot is a rocket. His overall speed and skating ability is game-breaking. When you consider every single box that you would like to be checked in a young player's game, Celebrini nearly clears every single section. This is going to be such a fun class to cover all season long. If you enjoyed the video today, then please do leave a like. If you love draft content, then be sure to subscribe because I will be providing coverage all season long. In the comments section, let me know how you feel about my ranking. Who was too high? Who was too low? Is there anybody who I'm missing out on? Is there anybody who is flying under the radar that deserves more attention? Be sure to let me know. That'll be all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time.